Put a finger down if while you were trying to market your very first home that you were selling as a realtor, you went to the house to go through the neighborhood and hand out flyers, and when you got out of your car, you locked your keys in your car, and so then you went to the homeowners and asked them if they had a blood pressure cuff and a coat hanger to try to get the door open. And while they had a blood pressure cuff, it was the wrong kind of cuff. It was one of those automatic ones, and it wouldn't open the door. So you walked across the street to a old car garage, and there was a guy working in there, and he said he'd be with you in a minute. So you went on ahead and asked if there was somebody there who could unlock your car right across the street. And there was another guy in the parking lot, and he was like, yeah, I can unlock your car for you. And he's like, I just need to go get my stuff. And so you walked back across the street, and you waited for him, and he came back, and he opened your car door, and he turned out to know your vet, because it's a small world. And so you PayPal'd him $25 for opening your car, and he said that he owned property in the neighborhood in a couple streets over that he might like to list sometime. And so you were like, heck yeah, new realtor and already got all these contacts. Fast forward, he leaves, and you go on about walking around in the neighborhood, and you end up in the middle of this gigantic cemetery. You didn't even know there was a cemetery in the area. It was huge, and somehow you ended up in the middle of it. And when you left, you walked into this really sketchy part of a neighborhood, and there was this dude absolutely going crazy in his front yard. And so you avoided that house, and you went on down the street, and you got to this old lady's house, and the dude started coming down the street behind you. And so you got on her porch, and you knocked on the door, and you were trying to do your spiel about the house listed for sale, and she was like, I'm not interested, and went back inside. But you didn't want to get off the porch because there was a crazy guy on the street, and you continued standing there. And then in a few minutes, the woman came back out because she realized that there was a crazy guy on the street, and she kind of left you outside. And so she let you give the rest of your speech, even though she wasn't interested, but she just didn't want you to get kidnapped. And so she thought that by being there, that would help. It did. The guy went on down the street. So then you hoof it back towards town, and you get to this other house in town, and there's caution tape like on the front steps, and you're sitting there trying to figure out if it's a Halloween decoration, if there was actually some reason for you to be cautious. And when the guy answered the door, you kind of settled for the latter option. And this, of course, didn't go anywhere. You walked this whole neighborhood for no real reason. When the house finally does sell, the buyer's agent contacts you after the sale and is chewing you out because your seller had to come back and continue moving their stuff because they had way more stuff than they thought they did. And also they couldn't get the money to move until the sale went through and they got their money for the house. So they were a couple days going back and forth getting their stuff, and the realtor texted you to chew you out. And when you offered to do something for the home buyer, the realtor said, please leave them alone. And so they really just wanted to call and complain to you for no reason. They didn't want an apology, and they didn't want you to do anything nice for anybody. They just wanted it to be your problem. But you did get the house sold.